to my channel, everybody. If you want to make a Freezie holder, grab your yarn, grab your pattern from Yarnspirations.com, and I'll meet you at the craft table. All right, let's get started learning how to make a freezer cozy. So here's what you're going to need. You're going to need the pattern, so go to Yarnspirations.com to get a copy of the pattern so you can follow along with me. A pair of scissors, your crochet hook. I'm going to use a 5.5 millimeter hook, a yarn needle, and yarn. And I'm going to be using Red Heart Super Saver stripes. So let's get started. Okay, let's get started with row 1. So we're going to chain 14. So we're going to make a slip knot. So remember, short end over the long end. Grab the cross in the back. Pull it off your thumb. Take the loop, put it through. Grab both ends and pull. Take your hook, put it inside, and pull the long end until your knot just touches the bottom of your hook. You want to be able to move your loop back and forth if you have to. Let's get started chaining 14. Okay, so here's what your chain should look like. We're going to do row 1. So we're going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So it's not this first one because it's being used already. We're going to go into the second one right here, right after it, in single crochet. And now we're going to single crochet all the way across, and we should have 13 chains in total. And I'll see you when we get to the end of the row. Okay, I've got about 3 chains left, so let's finish our first row together. So remember to put 1 single crochet in each chain and take your time. There's no rush. There you go. Row 1 is complete. So let's move on to row 2. So we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and remember we're going from right to left if you have your crochet hook in your right hand. If you're working with your left hand, you're going from left to right. So single crochet in the first chain. I'll show you that again. So it's right here, right below where you chained 1. Chain, single crochet in the first, and single crochet in each stitch across. And again, you should have 13 single crochets. And I'll see you towards the end of the second row. All right, I'm just finishing up row 2, so let's finish it together. So remember to chain 1 in each stitch. Should have 13 in total. Now the last stitch is a little tricky to see, so I'll show you with my yarn needle here. It's right here, right at the end. So that's where you're aiming to put your hook. Right in there. So that was row 2. So now from row 3 to 11, you're going to single crochet in each stitch across. So chain 1 and do a single crochet in each stitch across. And you should have, when you're done, 11 rows in total. And don't forget, take your time. We're still learning together. And you can always make these in many, many, many different colors. Solid colors, variegated, stripes. There we go, that was row 3. Let's do row 4 together, and I will catch you at the end of row 11. Okay, I just finished row 11, so this is what you should have, something that looks like this. So now if you wanted to count your rows, get a little closer here. So you should see down at the bottom, this is where you started your chain. So just above it right here is your first row. So then you just count up. So you should see little dips that look like this. One there. Here, I'll show you with my needle. So that's 1 stitch right here. So that's row 2. And this is row 3 and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. So now we have to chain 1, turn our work, and we have 1 more row to do, row 12. We're going to single crochet all the way across, and then we're going to fasten off, and I'll show you what to do when we get to that point. Okay, I just finished row 12. How about you guys? So now what we can do is we can measure our square to make sure that it's the right size. So you grab your measuring tape, and you should have a square that's about 4 inches. So let's check. Give or take about 4 inches. That's pretty close. All right. So now what you want to do to fasten off, you're going to chain 1. Okay. And you're going to cut a tail for sewing. Now you're going to cut not too long because our project isn't that big. So you're going to cut it maybe about 6 to 8 inches, give or take. And then you're going to pull your yarn all the way through and pull it tight so it doesn't come loose. Now what we're going to do is we're going to sew in our ends. Sew in this end because it's in the way. And just like last time, you're going to sew them under your stitches so it's hidden and out of the way. And it'll make your project look nice and neat and tidy. Okay, and then you're going to cut off the extra without cutting your project. Okay. Now what you're going to do with the longer tail is we're going to sew it using it for sewing. So you're going to take your project and you're going to fold it in half, whichever way you want, doesn't really matter, making sure that your rows are lining up like this. So I'll show you again, because your rows go side to side. So you're going to make sure your side to side rows, just fold it in half like that. Then you're going to take your needle and you're going to go through the opposite side through to the side you finished on and pull your tail nice and snug. And you're just going to loop it over and push it through right to the other side. And you're going to do this all the way down until your project is sewn closed. That way you'll have a neat and tidy freezie holder. And I will see you when we are finished sewing. I got about one more sewing section to do, so we're going to do that together. Now to finish off your project, before you pull the last one through, you're going to take your yarn needle and slip it through the little loop and then pull it tight, kind of like creating a knot on your project so it doesn't come loose on you. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your short tail that you have, whatever's left, and just weave in your end. Also, so it's not in your way and it makes your project a little bit neater and more tidy. Just like that. And you give it a bit of a pull, not too much, and then snip your yarn like so. And there you have it. A freezer pop cozy. There we have it, everybody. We made Freezie Cozies. So you can make them in many, many different colors. Doesn't matter. Red Heart Super Saver yarn is the yarn you want to use. And Yarnspirations.com is the place you want to go to find that pattern. And they're a great website. So stay tuned till next week for more content. And subscribe and like down below. And I'll see you next week.